Nebraska is about to start spring football, but it sounds like Casey Thompson may not be a full participant. According to Matt Rhule at his press conference, he said Casey Thompson will be, quote, pretty limited. They're going to err on the side of caution. And the main hope is to just not re-injure Casey Thompson's shoulder. Now, he had surgery on that shoulder, so this isn't a surprise. It sounds like he's ahead of schedule. But the reality is he was your starting quarterback a season ago. You probably don't want to go about re-injuring that during glorified practices. It's spring football. It's important. But the thing I want to focus on now is if Casey Thompson, and it sounds like this is the way it's going to be, isn't full go in the spring and isn't taking live reps, guess who gets center stage? But a one Georgia Tech transfer quarterback, Jeff Sims. It's his time to shine, man. Jeff Sims now has center stage in terms of getting reps, and that is crucial because spring football, when you're making all these installs with your new offense and all the transfers that Nebraska got, and if you're a transfer like Jeff Sims who's getting to a new program, this is your chance to earn the trust of the coaching staff. It's one thing to do it during winter conditioning. That's like the price of admission. That's the bare minimum. But to walk out there in an 11-on-11 setting and have a linebacker queued up off the edge, getting after you, even if he can't tackle you, some pressure, and be able to make the plays that's called, that's a big deal. To be able to actually put proof of concept into play and earn that trust and respect of the coaching staff, that's enormous. Now, Chuba Purdy is also someone we got to watch here. He is someone who's definitely a dark horse in this race. I don't expect him to win the second string job, but he could be a guy that ends up making some noise. All right, stranger things have happened. Again, new staff. Jeff Sims was the guy that they brought in. I think that means something here. Okay, Jeff Sims, again, a guy with tons of tools. He's like 6'3", 219 pounds, started a lot of games for Georgia Tech. The feeling for him is if you get him in the right system and put him in position to succeed, could make all the difference, man. Could make all the difference. We'll see if Nebraska is that right system. We'll see if he wins the job. But the fact that he is going to be in center stage now, while Casey Thompson is trying to participate but not able to participate in live reps, that means something. That means something to not have to share the spotlight with another quarterback. You go ahead and put out your best performance. Could change the game a little bit when you get to fall camp. And we're starting to ramp up for our opener. Now, I think it's also important, arguably more important than just earning the trust of your coaching staff. You're trying to win over a locker room. Because remember, Jeff Sims has been here now for like a cup of coffee. More thoughts on this, but if you haven't yet subscribed, we'd love to have you a part of this. We have had a ton of the Nebraska faithful join us since we've gotten rolling here, so thank you for that. If you haven't yet joined us, man, no time like the present. We talk ball every single day. We had Matt Rhule on the show not too long ago. Go check that out if you haven't already. Bottom line, you found your place for college football every single day. Also, follow me on Instagram as well as on Twitter at JDPikel. As I was saying, spring football, especially if you're the quarterback, you're trying to win over the locker room. And I've said this about different guys that have transferred different places, but this is where you're trying to earn your stripes. Because those guys, they know what they're getting in Casey Thompson. What do they get in Jeff Sims? They get to find out what he's really made of during spring practice in competitive settings. 7-on-7, 11-on-11, stuff like that. That's where you really find out what you have in your quarterback. And I'll say this too, as a player, having been in those kinds of huddles, whether it's conscious or unconscious, you are buying stock in your leadership. Okay, so guys are, whether they're making a conscious decision or not, they are deciding on who they feel best about as their quarterback. And for Jeff Sims to have the majority of those reps, it sounds like, or at least to have a crack at those reps without Casey Thompson on the scene, this is a chance for him to really make up some ground and to win over some of those guys in that locker room. Not that he hasn't already done it, but to do it on the field, it's different. It's different. I think it could end up being the difference maker for him because spring football and winter conditioning, those are the dues-paying periods of college football. I've said it before different times with our coaches' interviews we've had here, and they've all echoed the same sentiment. You're not getting hype videos during spring football typically. You're not getting the glitz and glamour and the pats on the back. You're not running out of the tunnel with the smoke going for winter conditioning. That's the part of the year where you are grinding with your boys. You're in the foxhole. And if you don't have it in here, as cliche as it is, if you don't have it in the heart, you don't have what's under the hood, you get exposed real quick. You find out if you love football real quick during spring practice and winter conditioning. So for Jeff Sims, this is important for him because he is getting to showcase that to his teammates, like I said, without having to share the spotlight with a one Casey Thompson. Now, I think this is more impactful for Jeff Sims, and this spring period will be more impactful for a Casey Thompson potentially, because this is a new staff. So Casey Thompson, you were the starter last year. That's great. You did some really good things. I think you even get a bad rap because of you playing hurt, because of different circumstances you had around you, what you didn't have on the offensive line. But everyone's on the same square right now. We're all square one, okay? And to be a little bit more harsh, this staff, yes, they asked Casey Thompson to come back, but they consciously went out and acquired Jeff Sims via the transfer portal. Translation, they made an effort to get Jeff Sims on campus. They recruited Jeff Sims. They did not recruit Casey Thompson to Nebraska. They might have re-recruited him. They might have said, hey, Casey, we want you to stay with us, brother, and we want you to have a chance to go compete for this quarterback spot. But they handpicked Jeff Sims to come and play at Nebraska. That means something. That means something. So for Casey Thompson, like I said, I don't know if I'm trying to think of the best way to say this, because I don't want to say Casey Thompson isn't their guy, but in some ways it feels like if they had to pick their guy based on who they recruited Jeff Sims. Now, I'm not saying Matt Rhule is playing favorites here. Of course not. That's not the kind of coach that he is, but you hear the sentiment I'm trying to communicate to you. Jeff Sims was recruited. Casey Thompson was already at Nebraska. So for Jeff Sims to be able to put some distance between him and Casey Thompson, or make up whatever distance there might have been perceived to be, with Casey Thompson being the starting quarterback a season ago, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So for this spring period, earning the trust of the coaching staff, winning over your boys in that locker room, and showing them that you are that guy during spring football and you can do it during winter conditioning as he already has, I'm very excited. I'm very excited to keep a pulse of this quarterback race as we get into fall camp through spring football, because that's when I believe it'll be decided. I don't think you'll get a winner in the spring by nature of Casey Thompson being pretty limited, and that's smart by that staff to let Casey Thompson, be able to heal up and be able to err on the side of caution. But this will be a quarterback derby that I think will have massive implications throughout the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska's been working now, working in the portal, working behind closed doors. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what they do in the spring and into the fall. But keep it locked right here. The Hard Count is live twice a week. We are on air, though. We're on your YouTube channel, The Hard Count, on the On3 YouTube channel every single day. Always talking college football. Listen, man, we just love ball, and we know that you love ball. So subscribe. Come join us here. We'll talk ball every day. It helps us help you, so we appreciate y'all for that. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.